1904. City Union Bank, trust and excellence since 1904.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Ask BQ on Bloomberg Quint. I am Agarwala. If you got questions on equity, this show is perfect for you. Send your questions to us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp. You can also call us on 022-454-04141. And of course, also mail us on askbq@bloombergquint.com. Make sure you do add the Ask BQ hashtag. And on that note, let's get a quick check of the markets at this point in time. We are looking at flattish moves, even though the Nifty has advanced by 0.3%, and it is the same for the Sensex too. So Nifty making the claim, trying to, well, crawl back towards the mark of 11,000. Is that possible? That question is something that we're going to have to wait and watch out on. But the Bank Nifty are also advancing by as much as 0.6%. Your broader market indices like the mid-cap and the small-cap indices are actually underperforming once again for the second straight day. So there is a little surprise there. It's essentially a handful of names which are keeping the Nifty and the Sensex higher. And speaking of them, let's take a look at what are these stocks which are advancing in trade. We have Z Entertainment up 3.5%. Titan Company, of course, well, also advancing, building on gains that we saw yesterday. IndusInd Bank is doing very well at this point in time too, so we're keeping an eye on that one. Bajaj Auto, M&M, looking at a little bit of reversal coming through as well. And of course, let's not forget M&M. Let's take a look at the losers then. We have Bharti Infratel, Tata Motors, Coal India, all of them, well, looking at a little bit of losses, but not as substantial. And on that note, I'm going to get in our experts of the day. We have Brijesh Singh of Stock Axis and Sameer Kalra of Target Investing, who are here to answer all your queries. Welcome to the show to both of you. I'm going to start off with a question. And this is a technical view on Shimaru Entertainment. We have a question from Emil. And he holds Shimaru Entertainment at 408. It's currently at 341. What is the view here? He's looking for a long-term view, though he has been very specific about being technical. So, Brijesh, I'll start with you. Your view on Shimaru Entertainment, how are you seeing things here?
If I'm not mistaken, he bought this share at 430?
408, Brijesh.
Okay. And right now it's been quoting at 341.
341, correct.
Right. See, since if he's having a longer term view, overall trend of the chart are not that much promising, because the stock, from a level of somewhere around 590 onward, the stock has been going in a correction mode, and it's been coming down. And the last week we have seen a massive sell of stock getting corrected with the increase in volume from a level of, say, the high which we made on the last week was somewhere around 424 and the low was 335, and near that region only the stock got closed. Almost a 14% of the correction we have seen. No doubt there might be a bounce back in it, but I'm not looking stock outperforming at this juncture of the time with medium to a long term has been concerned. So chances are that stock might drift to the level of 320 or say 300 level would be the next level to watch. Whether the higher side has been concerned, till stock doesn't give closing above 400, there would be a selling pressure. So my advice for this trader would be better to book your losses and be out of this counter. If he wants, then he can go for other stocks. Like if he wants, then he can look out to buy Reliance Industry. Anything below say 1240 he can use for an accumulation purpose till 1200 with the strict stop loss of 1150. Play for the target of 1400 to 1450 in a shorter term to a medium term time frame has been concerned. And if he has a view of a 1 year plus, chances are that stock can outperform and it can even go to the level of 1700 to 1800 with a strict stop loss of 1050.
Okay, well, before I get in our next query, we have Punjab National Bank's earnings coming through. Well, they look like a steady set of earnings, considering we have actually seen a reduction in the percentage gross NPAs and percentage of net NPAs, which have come off. Your net profit has also risen, so that's your gross NPA at around 16.3 against 17.2 quarter on quarter. And it's the same for net NPA at around 8.2 versus 8.9% quarter on quarter. Provisioning standing at around 2,565 crores versus well over 7,700 crores. So there is a reduction there as well, and that's possibly the reason why you're seeing stock advance today. Of course, it has been trending higher through the course of the day. So I reckon that the markets, to a certain extent, could have very likely priced it in. But at this point, we are seeing a little more of a gain coming through, and we're going to wait and watch for the net interest income figure as well, because that possibly could also give us some explanations as to how the quarter has gone by for Punjab National Bank. Currently at around 76, it really hasn't moved too much if you consider the way Punjab National Bank has seen in terms of price movement over the past 1 year or so. It has come off from levels of around 100, eventually going down to as much as 55, 60, if I remember this correctly, and then now consolidating around between the mark of 70 and 80. So we really aren't seeing too much, and that's your picture of, as far as your 12-month is concerned. So after we've seen the significant correction, we really aren't seeing too much of in Punjab National Bank except for a consolidation. Let's get in Deepak Kumar of Narnolia Financial Advisors on his take on the numbers. Deepak, good afternoon and thanks for joining us. What's your initial take on Punjab National Bank?
Yeah, the net interest income has declined by 14% Y on Y. It's 8% increase Y on Y, and which is way ahead of our expectations of 3,900 crore. And but you see, operating profit is below to our expectations due to lower other income this time. We were expecting some treasury gain, but this time it is missing around this result. So overall, if you see, provision has also decreased. So that has led to profit to positive this time. But if you see the net NPA number, it has not been encouraging. So we don't see we don't see it as a improved result this time. So going ahead, there will be surely pressure on the profitability as the net NPA ratios remain as elevated.
Deepak, just hang on. I just have one more question with respect to the earnings. Right? At this point in time, what are the possible risks that you see on the horizon for Punjab National Bank, considering it is from a public sector space? A lot of these banks have largely priced in or most of the risks. My question then is there anything else that stands out for you which it may face as we move into the next few quarters, considering we've seen such a stark correction in a whole host of these banks in the sector?
Yeah, see, the capital ratio is the main risk for the banks. The capital ratio is lower as tier 1 is around 6%. So it is the main risk which will restrict bank to grow and improve its profitability going ahead. So there was some news earlier that the PNB will sell its non-core assets, but it is uncertain when it will happen. So on the profitability front, sure, this will remain hangover, and the higher NPA ratios also will remain hangover on the stock in the near term.
Okay. Deepak, just hold on. We have the management of Punjab National Bank, Sunil Mehta, the MD and CEO, addressing us. Listening.
Our 3 quarters recovery cumulatively is 16,000 crore, which is almost more than 3 times of the last full year recovery. This in turn has helped us in reducing our gross NPA percentages substantially from 18.38 to 16.33 right now. So there's a 2% reduction in our gross NPA, and this has happened quarter-on-quarter basis from March onward. There is a net NPA reduction from 11.24% to 8.22%. That is more than 300 basis points reduction during these 3 quarters, and that is also sequentially on quarter-on-quarter basis. There is an improvement in gross NPA ratios as well as in net NPA ratios. Our risk weight assets density has also come down substantially. That is 11% reduction. We have come down from a 64.5% level in June last to 52% during the current quarter. That shows a substantial improvement in our asset quality without increasing the risk-weighted assets. With this, our capital adequacies have also gone up. The bank has shown a tremendous improvement in terms of our processes. The 3 major changes which the bank has introduced during this period is rollout of centralized loan processing centers across the country, in which the loan processing will happen and the monitoring will happen at a centralized location with a more specialized manpower. Another landmark change which we have brought out during this period is creation of trade finance cell, one at Delhi and another at Chennai. So these trade finance centers, all our trade finance transactions all over the country from branches are now concurrently checked at these trade finance centers, so that any mistake which has happened in the past is not repeated in the future.
Okay, that's the management of Punjab National Bank giving us more details on the quarter gone by. Of course, the stock at this point in time is trending higher by as much as 3%, but largely where it had begun the day at. It's around 75 rupees per share. So we're going to continue to track movements on this one. And on that note, we quickly go across to the next query that we have on Simplex Infra. And this one comes from Safdar Junaid. He wants to know what can be done with respect to the long term. So Samir, I'll come to you on this one. Do you track this one?
So I don't specifically track this one, but if you see the infrastructure story,
yeah,
right, if you see the L&T numbers specifically, because that's like a benchmark for all infra companies.
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
So there is a margin pressure and there is a kind of a slowdown on the receivables.
Yeah.
So I think that pressure will hit small companies much more drastically in coming quarters. So next 6 to 9 months, until unless a firm government comes back,
right,
these infrastructure plays should be avoided at all costs.
Okay, all right. Let's review on Simplex Infra, but I think we need to go back to Punjab National Bank's management. Listen in.
Under SEMV, we could bring it out by recognition and rewarding the recovery champions who are into the field and doing this across. 21 of our recovery champions have been sent for a training abroad. We have said that all those who contribute into the bottom line of the bank will be suitably rewarded. Despite all these incidences, the one major achievement which is unique in the industry our bank has done is, our bank, despite facing the turbulence during the first quarter of the current financial year, current calendar year, could complete the entire promotion process from clerical to scale 7, that is general manager level, before 31st of March, and all promotions were released on 1st April itself. That has given us the full year of continuity. Otherwise, transfer, posting, promotion keep happening right from April to June, July, August, and in the process 3 or 4 months of a transit period is there. So that transit period was saved, and we are going to create that thing this year also. We are going to complete it before 31st. So all these our HR practices, our team, and involvement and the commitment to bounce back has helped us in bringing it to black. And the number is also very good. It's 247 crore, which is higher than the corresponding period last year when there was no issue, and is a way forward. So this has given a strength that bank has the resilience. Our operating profits are going. Our business model is go. Whatsoever we have suffered was because of one of incidents. which has already been absorbed by the bank. And if you take the impact of that one-off incidence, my provisioning during this financial year, I'm talking about only these 3 quarters, we have made a provision of more than 7,000 crore. And if we take the losses of the first 2 quarters, then still we are into profit of more than 2,000 crore during these 9 months, if we take out the impact of the one-off incidence, which was an unfortunate thing. So that shows the fundamentals of the banks is strong. If we eliminate that effect, our profits are to the tune of 2,000 crore, and that's a matter of pride for the bank that yes, we are assembled here to share our story of rebound with you. And I'll request my colleague, Madam Aarti, to give you the numbers, and then if there are any questions, you're welcome on that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Aarti is just coming. In the meantime, I think we have some more friends who have joined us. Bani Kinkar from Financial Express, Sisir Sinha from HBL, Sunil Lokbharti, Hiten from the Statesman, Samriddhi from Desire News, we have Bisal from Nat News, Jay Chandra from Virat, Vaibhav, Subhas from News Horpil, Anurag from Sroj Varta.
Okay, well, I think we can move on and talk and take a few more queries in this case. And okay, I'm going to take in a query on, well, this is a common query that we have. That's on the auto ancillary space. We have Yosef Kale, who wants a view on Jamna Auto and Madhusan Sumi. Well, his question is it time to average? So I reckon he is already into the stocks, and he intends to buy into these companies. Well, his time horizon is 3 years. So Samir, come in on this. How are you placed on both these?
So I think Madhusan Sumi, we like the stock, but it's facing a lot of external pressures,
right,
which it doesn't have a hold on, right?
Sure.
So, and autos domestically are facing a slowdown.
Yeah.
And it is a slowdown because the high growths have been there for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So we don't think so this slowdown will get out very quickly. So we believe that keep holding on to these stocks.
Yeah.
If you see a further downside, which I think will come in next 6 to 9 months, and the slowdown will continue over here.
Okay.
Because the registrations are 6% down even in the Jan period.
Right.
So we believe that you should hold on to them, but there is not a place to average as of now. You might find even lower levels.
Okay, so there you have it. That's your view on Madhusan Sumi and Jamna Auto. That's, well, a holistic view of the auto ancillary sector as well, even though Madhusan Sumi has considerable exposure to markets abroad. And on that note, we go on to Manikant, and his question is a technical view needed on Axis Bank. He has bought Axis Bank at 712. It's currently at 730. And he wants to know if he can hold on. His time horizon is 1 month. Brijesh, how are you placed on Axis Bank? His entry price is at 712. So he's sitting on a reasonable amount of profit. What would you do with?
See, Agam, I'll say, first of all, if he wants a small profit, then look out for a month or say couple of months time frame. But if he wants a little bit, if he horizon the time frame from a month to a 6 month to a 9 month, the stock has fantastically broken out from upward channel, and right now the stock has been trading on a higher tops and higher bottom formation. Right now 730 the stock has been quoting. So for a shorter term time frame has been concerned, I'll say keep a stop loss of 705 or say 708 and look for the target of 746 to 752. But if he has a time frame of a 9 month, then in that picture scenario the stock has a nice support in a band of say 650 to 660 zone. Keep that thing as a stop loss, and it dip till 710 or below that can be used for an accumulation purpose for the target of 875 to 900.
Okay. We'll take a question from Pandey Sudhanshu, again on auto-related sector. The question is on Balakrishna Industries. He wants to know if it can be bought into with a long-term view. Actually, he's already entered the stock at around 950 rupees per share, and it has since seen a little bit of correction coming through. What would you do with this, Samir?
So I think the same answer. Balakrishna also is related to road.
Yeah.
And that's much more. So Caterpillar is the main benchmark. Those sales come out monthly.
Of course.
So you have to track that to expect a recovery in Balkrishnan to happen.
Yeah.
So if he is able to track it, he can track it. But we see a slowdown there continuing. So I think there's no place for averaging as of now. You might see a further tightening to the numbers also.
Okay, well, you'd rather not average at this point in time. There's a possibility of tightening your numbers, but you can possibly hold on to your position if you are interested in keeping it in the long term. Moving on to a question from Ujjwal Kumar. He wants a technical view on Reliance Industries, which he's bought at 1205. What can be done? It's currently at 1289, so he's sitting on a good 90 rupee profit at this point in time. Brajesh, how are you placed on Reliance Industries? It's currently flat right now.
See, Agam, again, I'm saying long-term charts are very much fantastic for the Reliance. After 8 years of consolidation, stock has broken out. And now, even when the market had, had seen a correction of 400 odd point of Nifty, this stock, Reliance, had not broken this previous swings low. That was somewhere around 1025, if I'm not mistaken. So, at this juncture of time, for a very short-term time frame has been concerned, if I'm not mistaken, 1329 is a 52-week high, and above that, the stock can jump to the level of 1352 or say 1360. But if he has a view of a 1 year or say 1.5 year, definitely the stock should be there in the portfolio. Any dip somewhere around say 1220 to 1225 can be used for an accumulation purpose with the strict stop loss of 1100 and look for the target of 1600 to 1700.
Okay, well, that's your target, of course, as proposed by Brajesh, 1600 to 1700. It's currently at around 1300. And moving on to the next question from Himanshu Prajapati, fundamental view on Ceylon exploration. Any entry point if possible? Do you track this one, Samir?
Yeah, so it's a subcontractor for ONGC in the larger sense.
Yeah.
And ONGC capex is going up, so it will benefit out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, from the stock price of view, it's always taken that ONGC and Ceylon move into the same category in terms of movement of the stock prices. Fundamentally, it's a good company,
right? And
I think it's good for a long-term bet.
Okay, there you have it, Himanshu. I hope that helps you and sorts your view out. Okay, Pradeep A wants a 2 to 3 year view on UPL. He's bought in at 744. What he intends to do is an SIP in UPL. It's currently at 781. Would you continue to buy?
UPL, I would hold on to it.
Okay.
Whatever SIP amounts are you deciding on, you can hold on to that amount separately, and you might find a lower prices because externally their South America operations are facing a lot of issues.
Right.
They have a high debt because of the new acquisition, the large acquisition which they've done. So that will take at least 6 to 9 months to digest it. So I think it's better off to keep on seeing the quarterly results, and any negative surprise will bring it down to even a lower level.
Right.
So I think you can accumulate the amount, but not invest as of now.
Okay, sound advice coming there on UPL as well. Prashant Benki wants a short-term view on ITC. Let's pull up ITC and perhaps we can get Brajesh to give his view on ITC. It's at around 275. Brajesh, it has been consolidating for the past few days. How were you placed on ITC?
See, Agam, stock has been trading in the range, what you have said earlier, 265 or say 260 on a downside, followed by 285 or say 290 on the higher side. So for a very short term time frame is been concerned, present rate or anything somewhere around 270 can be used for accumulation purpose. Keep a stop loss of 262 and play for the target of 285 to 288. But if he has a view of a medium term to a long term horizon, then the stock has a deeper support at 240 and the target would be 325 to 330 zone.
Okay, well, it's time to hit our rapid fire segment. I request our experts to keep their answers as short as possible. A sentence would do, but not just one word, but a sentence would certainly do. We have Voice of the Lamb on our SBQ. He says, I want to buy Z Entertainment for the long term. What would you suggest, Samir?
So I would suggest not to do that right now.
Okay.
Let the clarity come even further and on paper by the stake sale and everything happening. Even if you go 15% from here upside,
Right.
I think it's a better situation to enter.
Okay, fair enough. That's on Z Entertainment. Coming in down to Krish. Please suggest what I can do on JSPL with a 1-year time horizon. So I'm going to take a technical view here. JSPL, okay, Krish has entered into at 160. It's currently at 130. Brijesh, what's your view here?
For a short term to medium term, overall the trend has been down. I'll say not to hold on, but still if he wants to hold, keep a strict stop loss of 120. On a higher side, 145 to 140 is a tough resistance to cross.
Okay. Harshvardhan wants a fundamental view on NOSIL. Samir, this one's for you.
So NOSIL, I think you stay away because right now the mid caps are facing burn.
Okay.
And the elections and the markets will liquidate into certain places.
Right.
And when these mid caps have certain specific holders, shareholders, and they try to liquidate, the fundamentals and the stock prices differ.
Sure.
So I think as of now, maybe watch for another 3 months and then see a situation.
Okay, well, that's your view on NOSIL. Moving on to Aru's question on Yes Bank. A 1-year view, that's the requirement. We already know Samir is positive on Yes Bank at 181. Brijesh, I'm going to take your view on this one. How have you placed on Yes Bank?
Agam, as a disclosure, we have recommended to our client 145 and 165 are the 2 important support level. Present rate can be used for accumulation purpose or any dip also. Upper side 220, 225 are the target for a very short term to a medium term time frame has been concerned. Longer term target has been concerned 285 to 325.
Okay, well, we've reached the end of the show, so I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Brijesh and Samir, for helping our viewers with all their queries. And that is all that we have on this edition of Ask BQ. But remember, we are just a tweet, a post, or a call away. So keep your queries coming in. We promise to address all of them through our shows. For all the previous episodes, visit our YouTube channel or visit bloombergqueen.com. Stay tuned. Up next is Power Lunch.